This block is another tri-rec block. It's called double tri-rec and it finishes at 12 inches. It's a big block, so it's easy to cut and really fast to make. These are 6-inch finished tri-rec units, and this is a 12-inch finished block. Here's what you can do. These, I've alternated the placement of fabrics in each one of these, but you can totally mix these up. You can just make all of the tri-rec units and just totally mix them up. I think that would be really nice. And these blocks are set straight up and down. There's some down here. These blocks are alternated. So these are up, these are to the left, and we just alternated. I just gave you the two different colorings to see how the lights and darks go together. For the patches, I'm giving you the fabric needed for the tri-rec ruler, and for the AccuQuilt, I'm giving you the dies you can use. For the AccuQuilt, you will cut slightly larger pieces of fabric. You'll just have to measure your die to make sure you're getting the right size. 6-inch finished triangle and square, and the first patch is the triangle part. This is for one block. You cut one at 6.5 by 7 1/4 of each fabric. So those are these triangles here. Use the tri-ruler to cut one of each fabric. Patch B and B reversed, use the rectangle part of the ruler. It's also 6-inch finished triangle and square. You're going to cut 2 at 6.5 inches times 4 inches for each fabric. And that is these rectangles here. Place the fabric wrong sides together and cut one set. So you'll put these two, you can just as easily cut one at 6.5 by 8 inches and fold it in half if you want. That will work too. Then we'll just piece the different versions of the tri-rec unit, and then we'll sew them together in a block. Before I show you the fabrics, I want to show you how I determine how much fabric is needed for the tri-rec units when I'm cutting those out. Because if we were cutting squares, it's easy to add squares together and determine your fabric. So I take a piece of paper, and this is just a scrap piece of paper, and I'm using the back. I'll put the triangle ruler down first, and in this case we're making it 6.5 inches tall. This is the largest tri-rec unit it can make. And now I'm just going to take my pencil and draw out the triangle. So if I do this, and then I measure the length of this, and this is the 7-inch marking right here. So this is going to be 7 inches. And we cut this 6.5 inches by 7 inches. Now let's add another one. Let's turn this over just as if we were cutting it from a piece of fabric. And now we'll measure this distance for the two, and this comes out to, it's about 10.5, so I'm going to call that 11. So this one for 2 tri units, we need 6.5 inches times 11 inches. So you would cut your strip 6.5 inches, and then you need at least 11 inches to get 2 triangles from that. Now for the rec part, we take our rec ruler and lay it along the lines here, along the corner here, and now I'm going to take a red pen so it will look different. And we mark that as well. So here's one, and then let's mark another one. And we'll measure this. So this is about 4.5 inches, and I'm going to raise that up to 5. So for these two pieces, if we cut these out, we will need 6.5 inches times 5 inches. But remember, when we cut the rectangle parts, we need to have 2 pieces of fabric right sides together. So we need to double this fabric. And for 2 sets, we need 6.5 times 10. So we'll multiply this 5 inches that we need, because we need 5 here and 5 on the fabric underneath. 6.5 times 10 inches. That's for 2 sets. So that's how I do, and I leave these as I use the ruler for the different sizes. I leave this piece of paper. I have these here for the 3.5 inches, and I was able to separate them, the triangles at the top and the rectangles at the bottom. So I keep those so I don't have to keep measuring them every time. Now let's look at the fabrics. I have this green fabric, and I cut 1 set of each. And now I have this fabric. This is a background, and I cut 1 set of this. And here's my blue fabric. All right, let's finish putting these together. Now, what you do is just switch these and switch these. And we'll sew all 4 of these together, then we'll put them together in the block. Now here we have our tri-rec units completed, and we're going to sew these 2 together and these 2 together, and then sew the rows together. I've sewn the 2 rows together, and I wanted to show you something. When you sew the rows to each other, you have these points here you want to be sure and match. When I turn this over, I can see the points meet right here. So I'm going to put my pin in the back part, but try to get it as close to the point as I can. And that's pretty close. I'm going to be okay with that. And this part here, I'll put my pin right there at the point. Then you match the 2 points together. You match the top and the edges like this. And then hold it up like this, and you want the pin to be perpendicular to the fabric. And once it's like that, if you don't have it like that, if you have it like this, then your points won't match. So you want it exactly perpendicular with the fabric, and then put it into the fabric. You match these corners here. So you'll start stitching 1/4 inch, and as you come down, you want to aim for right where that pin goes into the fabric. I usually remove the pin a little bit when I get there, and then just stitch. Stitch right where that pin goes into the fabric. And then after you finish that, then just stitch your 1/4 inch all the way down to the end. And here we have our finished block. When I cut this block, I actually cut 2 of them. And so this would be how they would look side by side, but alternated. I think if we used different units and different colors, it would really be great. It would be a nice scrappy quilt. So now let's look at the block. Thanks for watching.